what's up? Chris from WindowCleaningResource.com with you today, episode 3 of This Week in Window Cleaning. Today I'm coming to you from my office with Stacy Jack. She's the CFO for our window cleaning company, All County Window Cleaning. How you doing, Stacy?
I'm good, how are you?
Stacy's extremely nervous being on camera, so we're just going to try to roll with it as best as possible. So what do you... No. What do you do here, Stacy? You got to project too, because it's...
I do everything that has to do with money coming in and out of the company.
I guess your title would be Chief Financial Officer, basically?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. How long have you been here?
Almost 5 years.
What does your typical day involve? What do you do? I know you do a bunch of different things every day, but...
Well, at first I set up the goals for the sales team to know what they have to focus on for the day, to make our goals for the month, for the week, for the year. And then I go on to phone calls on whether it's collections, billing, vendor relations, just managing all the accounts.
Is it a hard job?
Yeah, it's very hard.
What's the hardest part about it?
I guess managing cash flow when there's other factors behind that kind of like pull from what our plan is supposed to be. Unexpected expenses and stuff like that.
Cash flow is a major problem for most window cleaning companies, mainly due to the seasonality of it. You have a real big peak in the spring, very slow in the summer, big peak again in the fall, and then slow in the winter. Stacy basically brought 4 main things that really changed our company when she started working here. 1 was getting a real budget in place. 2 was collecting credit card deposits. 3 was managing our cash flow much better and our AR. And 4 was getting the guys onto commission pay. Let's talk about the commission pay thing. When you came, that's basically when they first started it. Something I always wanted to do, but I was really never able to put it together for time reasons. How does that work, the commission pay?
Well, the guys go out, or the team goes out each day with a revenue amount. If they meet that revenue or have add-ons, which is add-ons from a customer's job, they added on more windows or chandeliers. They're all based on seniority, paid on a commission basis. One being a super, one being a tech or a lead tech, they're all paid different commissions from one base commission, based on, like I said, the revenue for the day.
So I always explain it to people as we pay 30% out.
Correct.
On the crew, split unevenly between their roles. Now when we have 50 some odd window cleaners working here, that gets pretty confusing to keep track of on the back end, because it's not only keeping track of what person was enrolled in that role that day, but we also have to deal with minimum wage compliance. How do you do that? Is it software, collection of spreadsheets?
There is a very detailed spreadsheet that we have in place that took, just from the start of this project, paying commission, took hours and hours to do to make sure it was, each one leads into another sheet for compliance, for their daily rolls and their commission per day, and then it's all brought to another sheet from the payroll point of view.
How long does it take per week to keep track of payroll?
It's a daily thing.
So every day you work on it?
Every day.
How many hours a day?
Some more than others, because the daily thing of it, Liz does, the closing out the jobs, that's brought into the one main start sheet, which is our daily revenue sheet. That then is collected for the 2 weeks that a payroll is in, and then implemented into the other spreadsheet. So Liz's takes about an hour per se to do that daily sheet, but again, like 4 hours to do the closeouts for each job. And then my job, as far as doing the payroll, it's probably, what I do is I do it half a days for 2 days, and that's usually Monday and Tuesday, and payroll submitted on Wednesday.
So it's really almost a full-time job keeping track of payroll for the guys. They're close to it.
It is, but it would be a real big mess if everybody did it on paper. It's good that the structure of
I think it's totally worth it to go on to commission pay. I noticed as soon as we started doing it, we immediately had an increase in revenue, increase in billable time on the job, because the guys weren't really milking the clock. So I think it's worth it.
Yeah, overtime stopped because they're utilizing their time better. They want to get these jobs done because the more revenue they have in their team, the better their pay, of course.
Yeah. So not only did our revenue go up, their pay went up, even though they weren't getting that overtime anymore. Some of these guys get paid upwards of more than me per day sometimes. It's kind of aggravating,
And
but
the
it's good.
strange thing, after that we've started the 30%, nobody has overtime hours as far as what they're not compensated in pay. So we've cut that expense down, and though managed a 30% revenue, 30% pay structure based on revenue.
Yeah. We've noticed too, jobs we did in the past when we were on hourly that took 2 guys 8 hours. Miraculously now, that same job is getting done in 4 hours with 2 guys. It's crazy. I don't know what happened before then. The other thing that I'm really, really happy about that you instituted here is a credit card deposit mandatory on each residential job booked for $125. You originally proposed that idea to me, and I was completely against it at first because I thought people would never go for it. But for the most part, 98% of the people don't blink an eye at it. How'd you come up with that idea, and why did you?
Well, it's based on my own, home improvements or, purchasing, in my personal life. Most of the people, contractors that came in, required a deposit, whether it was for my furnace or my heating or whatever home improvement. And then we weren't doing that. And then when it came to collections in our line of work, the receivables just built up and built up, and it was, the concept of a credit card deposit or a deposit in general is guaranteeing a mindset of, I have a responsibility for this service that's being done at my home, and also we have a credit card on file. We do explain to the customers, if you're not home or you did not give the team payment at the time that they were there, we're going to use that credit card for payment. So there's no time lapse and money lost for not recouping that money.
Yeah, I think when you started, like the day you came in, I remember looking at the AR sheet with you, and it was like $75,000. It was completely under control, and now it's below 30 because of that. And most of that stuff is commercial stuff.
It's 17 right now.
17, look at that. That's amazing. That's amazing for this time of year.
It is.
Yeah, that's really good. The job gets completed. If they don't pay by check, pay it on the card, on the spot.
Yeah.
It completely changed our business for the positive, really. Cash flow is everything. It's really good. So, we're talking to window cleaning business owners here. Is there any suggestions you may have on how they can use some of this financial stuff to benefit their business, and things you recommend they should be doing maybe?
To have a plan, to really structure, know how the business works from start to finish, and have a plan, basically. Budget everything. And stick to it.
Yeah.
Because what we used to always call is spring rich, and we've gotten out of that mode.
Yeah.
No large expenses during that month, only if it's to the operating of the company.
We review the budget on a weekly, almost daily basis sometimes here to really ensure that we're sticking to it. So we put that together in the first couple months of the year. February, it's completely finished by March totally. And every single expense that we're going to have, of course, from the surprise thing, like our furnace just breaking down isn't built in, but every expense, we know what we're going to spend on mailings each and every week. We know what we're going to spend on printing. We roughly know what the electricity bill is going to be based on last year, the fuel bills, truck repairs. It's all in there.
Stamps, down to stamps, pens,
Stamps.
office supplies,
Coffee.
staples,
And
paper clips.
it gets easier to do after you've been in business for a couple of years, because you can look at the historical data and see what expenses came up at that time last year. Even, for example, the electricity bill, you know it's going to be more in the summer because of all the air conditioning units running. So you can really account for everything. It's pretty neat. And if you implement some of these things, it could change your business for the positive quickly. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate your time today.
Mike. See, that wasn't so bad.